Good morning, everybody. This is part 2 of Tom Brady overcoming obstacles. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this video.
Brady is so great that even Bill Belichick, who really knows what he's looking at, didn't understand. I didn't either. A lot of people didn't. What Brady was bringing to the table. He may have thought he understood it, but it appears at this moment he did not. Brady is winning right now.
Tom, understandably, is like, wait, forget what I've done over the last 20 years. How about what I've done over the last 3? So this is a defense of Brady here. Listen to this. It's the summer of 2019. Think about it. Show the timeline. What I do in 2016? Well, I missed those first 4 games because of Deflategate. All I did was go 11-1 and then lead the single greatest comeback in Super Bowl history to win my unprecedented at the time 5th ring. What I do the next year? Oh yeah, I won league MVP at age 40. And in the Super Bowl, threw for 500 yards. And he's probably thinking, and maybe if you hadn't benched Malcolm Butler, we'd have won that one. What happened in 2018? Yeah, my numbers were down, my stats were down, but I did win a road playoff game against Patrick Mahomes, leading an overtime drive down the field, and we won the Super Bowl. And now it's the summer of 2019. The only personal goal I have is to play till I'm 45, and you're telling me no. You won't give me the extension. And look up the Tom Curran pieces. I did it this morning, July 29th, 2019. Tom Brady's asked about an extension, says to reporters, ask Mr. Kraft, do you think I've earned one? 6 days later, August 5th, 2019, it is reported Tom Brady signs an extension. But then we find out it was a fake extension. There was no actual real years tacked on to the end of it. He got a raise, and the Patriots couldn't franchise tag him. That's October 5th, 2019. And on October 6th, he put his house on the market. On that day, that moment, he said, okay, fine. I've done all this. I have always performed. I've always been the commensurate teammate, and you don't believe in me. Bill Belichick agreed with me more than he agreed with Tom. Bill Belichick said, I see the numbers going down. I see the trajectory of every quarterback ever once they get to a certain age. I cannot invest in you into your mid-40s. It's an insane proposition. And so guess what? That then became Brady's newest chip.
These people don't know what the hell I'm working with. I have nothing. If Bill Belichick had given him weapons, Tom Brady would still be in Foxborough. And Tampa wouldn't be going to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2003.
Best thing that happened then is that he didn't.
He most certainly is. I mean, Ryan Clark, how do we put into perspective the winning that Tom Brady is all about?
Tom Brady's the greatest organization in football. And yeah, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest player of all time.
I wonder why it is that all of the athletes, the greatest athletes in the history of sports, why it is that Tom Brady seems to attract the most doubters. It seems like there's an endless array of reasons that the people who doubt him, that hate on him, are manifesting to justify every time Brady wins. I don't believe it's just hate though. I think it might be that when Brady wins, it makes them look wrong. I don't know, I just don't understand how there's so much of it. Even the people who hate Floyd Mayweather, and Mayweather actually goes out and wants people to hate him, they still at least acknowledge he's the best defensive boxer ever. At least Floyd gets the credit he deserves. Whereas with Brady, I've just seen blatant refusal that he's even in the top 10 greatest NFL players ever. They won't even give him credit for the wins, but they're the first to blame him and charge him with the losses. I mean, shouldn't we admire someone who's had to overcome so much more in his career? Shouldn't we applaud his tenacity for working and pushing forward? When no one believed in him, no one wanted to give him a chance, he just kept pushing through, he kept working. I will always admire the person who's had to work harder and do more and be more resilient and fight against all odds and all obstacles. I don't understand why there's a need to beat Brady down. Why wouldn't you root for someone like that? Wouldn't you want to have that trait, the trait of perseverance, of hard work? wouldn't you want your kids to have that mentality? If your kids did that, if they went after their dreams and gave it their all and gave it everything, wouldn't you applaud them for it?
199th pick, beat you. Peyton Manning, long gone. Time, well, I won league MVP at 40, and I won my 6th Super Bowl at 41. But now my coach, the man who's been on this journey the entire time with me, the man who should know to doubt me the least, the man who our success is inextricably tied together, he is telling me, as much as he very well may love me, I don't believe in you. I think you believe in yourself more than is realistic. I think you believe you can do something, and for the first time, I don't believe you can. And so you can come to me and ask me for an extension that my boss, Robert Kraft, wants me to give, that the fans of the team want me to give, that your teammates want me to give. And I am going to say no. Not because I don't like Tom Brady, not because I have some grudge against Tom Brady, not because I have something to prove to Tom Brady, but because in my head, in my heart, in my belief, you're not going to be worth it. And that moment right there, Tom Brady was the 199th pick all over again. The person who knows me more than anyone in football is telling me I can't do it.
If Tom Brady was an organization, we would sit here right now and talk about how great they drafted. We would talk about the lineage of winners that they have, all of the Hall of Famers that they have. If you were an organization and say you were like the All-American Toms, right? And you've been to 14 conference championships. You've been to 9 Super Bowls, and you've won 6 of them. Right now, your fan base would be like the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base was when they had won 6. They would always go to that, always go to their winning, always go to their consistency. That's who Tom Brady is. And now he goes from the AFC, where he's dominated for 2 decades, and he comes to Tampa Bay, and we immediately put all of these lofty goals on this team and all these expectations, and all he's done the entire year is fix every problem and exceed what we thought he could be. And when we watched 2 quarterbacks yesterday who really looked like it was 85 years of quarterbacking on that field, one of those guys can still throw it. One of those guys can still play, and that guy is Tom Brady.
Belichick was that certain that cliff that I'd been talking about, that this is now Nick talking, that folks on television, myself included, have been talking about, that Brady was approaching it. And maybe was already falling off it. And you saw it in the play calling in 2019 as last year with the Patriots. You saw it in where they put their resources in 2019. And Belichick flatly said, I am not tying my team's fortunes to an old man quarterback who's going down.
What is the Buccaneers' offensive identity? Is it Bruce Arians? Is it Tom Brady? How have they changed everything in these last 5 years?
I think credit goes to Bruce Arians. And why? Because of the magical play calling? No, because he got out of his own way. He turned it over. Since the bye week, this looks like a completely different offense. Quite honestly, it looks like Tom Brady offense.
I don't believe Brady is going to stop at 45. Not if his body holds up, which I believe it will. He's never going to let go of all the times that he was rejected. But it's made him stronger though. It's made him the most mentally toughest player to ever compete. And I hope he keeps on winning.
So of course, Tom Brady's motivation is not about proving that he was more important than Bill for those first 6 Super Bowls. That's what people are missing. It's not about retroactive credit over the 04 Super Bowl against the Eagles. It's about right now, present day. I was in the building. I was here every day. You saw how I did meetings. You saw how I did practice. You saw how dedicated I was to my body, my craft, how this is my life. You saw all of it. We had just won a Super Bowl. We were the defending champs. We had been to 3 in a row. The one we lost, I threw for 500 yards. I'm 2 years removed from a league MVP. And you are looking in my eyes saying, I can't trust you. I can't believe in you that this is who you're going to be moving forward.
To me, this is crazy. You know, when I look at it, 35 rushing attempts in this game. If you combine the two games before when Bruce Arians was calling it, 31 rushing attempts. So Tom Brady understands it. He's all about, hey, the momentum of the game. Defense was playing great. We got to run the football, and that's what he did. Tom Brady's all about winning, period, and he got it done.
And so that's the motivation. It's not about who gets credit for what happened in New England. It's about that Tom Brady was forced, he feels, I'm sure, to not continue in New England because the guy who should have believed in him more than anybody believed in him as much as Nick Wright did, which was not much.
I hope you enjoyed this series. If you did, then please subscribe and share with your friends. And as always, thank you for watching.